Sometimes the most painful stories aren't about betrayal. And not even about goodbye. They're about almost. Almost loved. Almost stayed. Almost became everything to each other. But something went wrong. There are no perfect people here. No right decisions. Just moments that change everything. Almost love, stories you don't just hear. You feel. Put your headphones on. And listen with your heart. I ignored her for years. Then she saved my life. I didn't recognize her at first. But she recognized me. And the worst part? I spent years pretending she didn't exist. Until she was the only person who could save my life. Her name was Olivia. And if I'm being honest, she was never supposed to matter. Not to me. Not in the way she eventually did. We met in college. Same building. Same classes. Same quiet routines. She always sat 2 rows behind me. Not too close. Not too far. Just there. At first, I didn't even notice her. And when I did, it was only because she kept showing up in the background of my life. Library. Cafeteria. Hallways. Always with a book. Always calm. Always watching, just a little longer than most people would. One day, she spoke to me. "Hey, you forgot your notebook." I turned around, confused. She was holding it out to me like it was something important. Like it mattered. "Thanks," I said. And that was it. No smile. No conversation. No second thought. At least, not from me. But from her? That moment meant something. I just didn't know it yet. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. And Olivia became familiar. Not in a loud way. Not in a we're friends way. More like a quiet presence you stop questioning. She'd save me a seat sometimes. "Is anyone sitting here?" I'd ask. She'd shake her head. No. Always simple. Always soft. We started talking. Little things at first. Assignments. Professors. Random complaints. And somehow, it grew. She laughed at things that weren't that funny. Listened like every word I said mattered. Remembered details I didn't even remember telling her. And me? I liked the attention. But I didn't value the person. Because at that time, I was chasing something else. Something louder. More exciting. More temporary. I dated people who made my heart race. Who made everything feel intense and unpredictable. Arguments. Passion. Drama. It felt like life. And Olivia? She wasn't like that. She was steady. Safe. And back then, I thought safe meant boring. So I kept her where it was convenient. Close enough to feel good. Far enough to not commit. If she texted, I'd reply, later. If she asked to hang out, I'd say maybe. If she needed something, I was busy. And still, she stayed. One night, she asked me something different. We were sitting outside, late. Campus almost empty. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Sure." She hesitated. Like she already knew the answer would hurt. "Do I matter to you?" I laughed a little. Not because it was funny. But because I didn't want to deal with it. "Of course you do," I said. But even I could hear it. It wasn't real. She nodded. And smiled. But it didn't reach her eyes. That was the first time I saw it. The crack. After that, things changed. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Just, slowly. She stopped saving me a seat. Stopped texting first. Stopped waiting. And I noticed. But not enough to do anything. Because I thought she'd always be there. Until one day. She wasn't. No message. No explanation. No goodbye. Just gone. I asked around. No one knew much. She transferred. That's what I heard. And that was it. And weirdly, life just kept going. New people. New places. New distractions. But every now and then, something would remind me of her. A book she once mentioned. A song she liked. The way someone laughed. And for a second, I'd feel it. That small, quiet absence. But I ignored it. Like I ignored everything else about her. Years passed. And then, everything changed in one night. It was raining. Of course it was. I was driving too fast. Thinking about nothing and everything at the same time. And then, lights. A horn. Impact. After that, just silence. When I woke up, everything hurt. White ceiling. Beeping machines. The smell of something sterile and distant. Hospital. I tried to move. Couldn't. Tried to speak. Barely. And then, I saw her. Standing by the door. Older. Tired. But unmistakably. Her. Olivia. For a second, I thought I was dreaming. Or worse. Remembering. But she stepped closer. And I realized. This was real. You're awake, she said softly. Same voice. Same calm. Olivia? I whispered. She nodded. And smiled. But this time, it reached her eyes. What are you doing here? I asked. She hesitated. Then said something I'll never forget. I work here. Of course she did. Of course the one person I never valued became the one person standing there when I had nothing left. You've been here for 3 days, she said. 3 days. And she stayed. Why? I asked. She looked at me for a long moment. And then said. Because you mattered to me. Past tense. That hit harder than the accident. I didn't know what to say. So I said the only honest thing I had left. I'm sorry. She nodded. I know. No anger. No. Just acceptance. And somehow, that hurt even more. Over the next days, she kept coming. Not always for long. Not always talking. Just there. Like she used to be. But everything was different now. Because now, I saw her. Really saw her. The way she cared. The way she stayed. The way she didn't need anything in return. And I realized something that came way too late. She wasn't boring. She was rare. And I traded rare for temporary. The day I was discharged, I found her near the window. Same kind of scene as years ago. Quiet. Still. Olivia, I said. She turned. I don't want to lose you again. She looked at me. Not surprised. Not emotional. Just calm. You already did, she said gently. And there it was. Not revenge. Not anger. Just truth. I was there, she continued. For a long time. I swallowed hard. I know. And you chose not to see me. Silence. I see you now, I said. She smiled. Softly. I'm glad, she said. And then she walked away. No dramatic ending. No second chance. Just a moment where everything made sense. And for the first time in my life, I understood. Some people don't leave. They wait. Until you prove they shouldn't anymore. If this story felt a little too real, maybe someone once stayed for you longer than they should have. And maybe you noticed too late. I'll see you next time. After Dark.